sorry if you were at the festival, you're going to have to hear it again. Carla, get up here, please. Everybody knows her as Carla, but I call her Lena. She is my clam digging sweetheart. Many years ago, we was on the beach one morning. We was digging clams like mad, and our shovels met in the sand. And it was love at first sight. She had red curly hair just like rusty steel wool. And she has a heart of pure gold, like her teeth. Yeah, she's a sturdy woman. We've been digging clams now for 45 years together. Yay. 40 years ago, we was out on the beach one morning. And that afternoon, I was at work at 5 o'clock, and she called me. She says, I need to go to the hospital. So I went home, and that evening, about 2 hours later, we had a new boy, Clinton. I grew up here in Astoria, and it was on my street over on Erie Street. The names on the street were Oya, Venanoya, Mackey, Perikimaki, Tuamisto, and Yakala. We used to hear some other languages when we were downtown, not so much anymore. But I remember being in the bank one day when I worked at the cannery, and all the cannery ladies were in there, and I was hearing Swedish and Finnish, and I never learned to speak any of the other languages. I have Danish ancestry, Swedish, and Finnish, but I never learned to speak any of those. Neither did my father. His father was Finnish and his mother was Swedish, so at home they spoke English. He learned a few words. He taught me how to cuss in Finn, but I won't do that here. My other grandmother was from Denmark. She lived in Utah. Now I know what you all thinking. Finnish, Swedish, Danish. His other grandpa has to be Norwegian. But no, he was English. One day, several years ago, my father-in-law, George Lamphere, was in U.S. Bank, and he knew that the lady that was waiting on him was Finnish, and so he was going to have a little fun with her. So when she asked, George, how are you today? He says, well, I don't know. He says, my daughter just got engaged, and she's going to marry a Finn boy. So without even cracking a smile or looking up, she said to him, well, that's good, George. That will add a little class to your family. Well, she said, she told you I would tell you some jokes. You all know Sven and Oli and Lena. Well, I've been good friends with Sven for a long time. In fact, many years ago, when I was working patrol for the Astoria Police Department, on slow nights on graveyard shift, Cody Harris and I, Cody was another good Finn boy from Astoria.
And one of my cousins.
And he is one of my best friends. Anyway, Cody and I would be spending only for the whole night on the police radio. Kept the dispatchers entertained. I don't think the supervisors liked it, but we did it anyway. Anyway, Sven and Oli are my friends, and one day, they were working construction, and Sven was looking for Oli, and he says, hey, has anybody seen Oli anywhere? I can't find him. And the foreman says, yeah, he's down there in the outhouse. So Sven went down and he stood by the door of the outhouse, and he waited for a long time, and Oli didn't come out. He's starting to get worried, and he thinks something must not be right in there. So he knocked on the door. He says, hey, Oli, are you in there? And he hears a faint voice down below the ground level. He says, yeah, I'm down here. So Sven scratches his head and he says, what's going on? So he opened the door. Sure enough, there's Oli down in the bottom of the outhouse. He said, what are you doing down there? He says, well, you know, I was using the outhouse and I dropped my coat. And Sven says to Ole, he says, well, it's not any good anymore. You come up out of there, just leave it there. It's ruined now. And Ole looks up and he says, yeah, I know that, but my sandwich is in the pocket. The other one that I told at the festival was, you know, I have to make a confession. Today was the first time that I've ever eaten lutefisk. Can you believe that? It was. I went to Denmark in August, and I thought if I could survive the liver pate that we had every day there for 2 weeks, I could do the lutefisk. And it wasn't too bad, really. I've been around when it's been prepared, and I always would pick the meatballs or something else. But it was okay, but I still prefer the meatballs. Yeah, the other one was about lutefisk. Now, Astoria High School, how many went to Astoria High School? I see some of my old classmates here. I bet we were the only high school in America that had a chant that talked about lutefisk. I don't think they use it anymore, but it went lutefisk, lutefisk, lefse, lefse. We are the fishermen, sure we are. You betcha.
Can we get the room to do that?
All right, everybody, I will lead it. Lutefisk, lutefisk, lefse, lefse. We are the fishermen, sure we are. You betcha. Lutefisk, pretty famous around here. Sven Ole went to the store one day, and he said, he was telling Sven, who owned the store, he says, I got a problem. I have rats in my basement. I don't know what to do to get rid of them. Do you have anything, any traps or something that will take care of rats? And Sven says, well, I got something here, and he hands Sven a jar of something. And he says, you take this home and you put a little bit in every corner of your house, in your basement, and you won't have any more rats. And Ole says, well, what is it? And he said, Sven says, it's lutefisk, and it smells so bad the rats won't even come around. So, a couple weeks later, Ole was in the store, and Sven says, did you get rid of your rats? And Ole says, yeah, sure. I have no more problem with rats. But now, what do I do with a whole basement full of Norwegians? Thank you.